Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
If you've made the decision to level your home and build new or to renovate, hire Better Futures Minnesota to take it apart by hand. Think before you scrap. Think of the energy and greenhouse gases saved by diverting what can be reused and recycled from the landfill. Better Futures Minnesota can do it for you. Hennepin County residents and public entities, there are funds available to make the environmentally right thing to do comparable to demolition. Check out betterfuturesminnesota.com. That's betterfuturesminnesota.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 68, Tuesday sunny with a high near 82, and Tuesday night showers and storms with a low around 63. Discover authentic Szechuan and Mandarin cuisine at the Great Wall Restaurant. Enjoy favorites like hot and sour soup, sesame chicken, and Peking duck. Conveniently located just south of 50th and France and Edina. Order takeout by calling 952-927-4439 or view the menu at greatwalledina.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
They are, Rob.
Oh, we don't hear you. Looks like you're... All right, Haley. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, CEO of Native American Community Clinic, and it's always great to have you on. And it just seems like I just saw you yesterday. It's very bizarre. I don't know. You must be on my mind. Oh, wow.
You kind of did, didn't you? No, wait.
Yeah.
A couple days ago.
Yeah,
maybe 3 days ago. I think that was 3 days ago. Thursday, right?
Yeah, definitely. Hey, and I want to really give you a big Pinigigi. That was sent out live on Thursday, and it's all over Facebook.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's
now.
awesome.
And people look for it, and we had a long discussion with Dr. Stately. We had a guest in there, and we were talking about COVID and just the history. And there was some things that, you know, like it's really good that we're doing this symposium because there's things that I have forgotten. And there was a few things about your story and that I believe I didn't know. So there was a few times we were together in the studio at AM 950, and there's a few times that I got a little teary-eyed, and I acted like I got something in my eye, but it was pretty heavy.
Yeah, it did get a little bit heavy. It was a little shocking to me too. It's kind of like I don't know. I don't know if I told you this or not, but so today is my last day of being 60 years old. I'm 61 tomorrow.
What?
Yeah. So you know, and I find that, you know, kind of around this time, I like start thinking about things like, you know, gosh, you know, mortality and stuff like that. And that conversation we had on Thursday was like reminded me. So it reminded me that I had those moments, those days in the hospital where it really sort of like, you know, it felt like my life was hanging in the balance. And I had a lot of thoughts and ideas about what I wanted to try to accomplish over the next few years. And I've actually accomplished quite a few of those things professionally. I need to do a better job of like finding balance in my life, I think, for my family and for my own personal life outside of my work. And so I think 61, the next rotation around the sun will be focused on trying to find and carve out a little bit more time for me to do the things that are also good for my own well-being. So yeah, I'm really focusing on that.
Definitely, Dr. Stately. And I'm 62. Average age of a male in the United States is 78, and we know it's less for Native Americans, significantly less. But let's say I lived till I was 78. So I realistically have 6,784 days if I were to live till I was 78. So for me, that puts it in perspective in a big way too, is that these days counting down, we have to, one, take care of our family, take care of ourselves, and take care of the community. And sometimes it's in different orders. And but as long as we're taking and leaving a legacy like you have and are with your work and your family and your boys, and your other, the rest of your family too that know you well, you're looking pretty good. So I have work to do still, but I feel like 6,000 days is not that many.
No, they go by in such a flash. I was like thinking about this, and I just realized, like, I don't feel 61, although I don't know what 61 feels like. But like the only thing I would think of is like when I was much younger, I would think, oh my God, that's so old, right? And here I am, a little baby elder, creeping up on 65. I posted this thing on Facebook. I had this really interesting conversation when I picked up my medicine on Saturday afternoon. I'm at the pharmacy. The pharmacist, who knows me really well, she's known me for about 14 years. She asked me for my birthday, so I told her, and she's like, "Oh my God, oh my God." She's like, "Aren't you excited?" And I said, "For what?" And she said, "Well, in a couple of days." And I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Yeah, I'll be 60." I said, "Oh, you mean like I'll be able to retire soon?" She goes, "So I don't think that's going to happen." She goes, "No, you'll be eligible for Medicaid, and just think of all of the discounts you're going to get."
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, she's saying this in front of a big group of people standing behind me, all waiting for their medicines too. And I was like, you know what I'm not excited about? You just telling the entire story. I'm 65 years old in a couple of years.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm glad Goodwill gives you a discount at 55. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, and I've been enjoying that Denny's discount for at least a good 10 years. So,
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, shoot.
nothing tastes better than discount eggs.
Yeah.
And waffles.
Commode eggs. You got some commode eggs happening, right?
Exactly.
Shoot.
Oh, yeah. But it's, I think, it is that conversation we had last Thursday about like the days I was in the hospital when I was sick with COVID. Didn't know if I was going to see my kids again. Really, really. That was probably easily the most difficult and frightening experience. It was like, I don't know if I'm going to see my kids again. And knowing that they were only 14 years old or 13 years old, and that I wouldn't be able to, and the thought of not being able to be here to finish the job, I have one job that is the most important job. Yes, I have all these really great things I do professionally, and they are very, very, very fulfilling. But my one and most important job is to raise these boys into strong Dakota warriors, teach them how to be responsible men, how to be kind and considerate and compassionate, and give back to the community, and and be a good relative. And that, they're 16, they're very self-focused, so that job isn't done yet.
Right. Well, and their brains don't really stop developing until they're about 25. So you got another 9 years that you got to help mold
Yeah,
these young ones. And
yeah.
we know Haley's 25 now too, so we're working on her too.
Oh,
Where'd she go?
I don't know. I don't know. She's probably working on your mold in the background.
Yeah, definitely.
Can
A
you guys
resin
hear
mold.
me?
We can, yeah,
Yeah,
Yay, you can hear me. Okay. Well, good to be
yeah.
here.
yeah. Well, I'll show you how to set up that microphone. It's always different, especially when we're going back and forth. Um, but yeah, I think it's to leave a legacy, and I think that's what I don't know if I can speak for your mother, but I know Clyde and Vernon and all those Amster gangsters that hung out with your mom have left a legacy. And
Yeah. My life has been filled with powerful women and powerful Native men who all left a tremendous legacy. I'm really clear that my life and all the benefits I have, they have been built on their shoulders. Like I've been gifted this path by the people who came before me. My job is to make a better path for my kids and everybody else.
right on. And I agree. I agree 100%. Thank you for saying that. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, CEO of Native American Community Clinic, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
We are your relatives,
We are your relations,
brothers,
sisters,
sons.
daughters,
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect because of the impact of colonization that reflected thrown from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
Homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
2023 is here, and you can make it the year of the Eagle with the National Eagle Center. You and your family can enjoy exciting Eagle experiences, including field trips, private habitat tours, and exclusive behind-the-scenes tours. Meet live eagles up close, view bald eagles and golden eagles in the wild, and receive personal one-on-one education with dedicated and knowledgeable eagle experts as you journey into the world of eagles like never before. Learn more and plan your unforgettable Eagle experience today at nationaleagleCenter.org/experiences.
All of us want to make a difference. As veterans, we committed to protect our country. We served and sacrificed for the things that mattered most. Those experiences shaped our lives. Now we're husbands, wives, parents, and friends. And sometimes we forget that the biggest challenge can be asking for support. The Veterans Crisis Line is here for veterans. Dial 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. It matters.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition. Hey, just want to give a shout out to here, Robert. Native Roots Radio will be doing a live show from the Minnesota History Center with Native American initiatives on Saturday, October 21st from 11 to 2 for the opening of their new exhibit, which is titled Reframing Our Stories.
Right on. Can't wait. Maybe we'll have Dr. Stately as a special rare guest coming down there and checking in while we're live at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So we're here with Dr. Stately. He didn't nod yes or no. This is a radio show, so we're going to guess that he's not going to come. But hey, we're here with Dr. Stately. Native American Community Clinic, and we're just kind of reminiscing of last Thursday and how far we've come. And that was one of the sayings when I first sobered up, is that you really can't judge how far you have to go. It's more of how far you've come. And I think looking at your life and looking at my life, we've really done a lot of good things, but it's hard to see sometimes when you're in the middle of the fire.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's also, you know, I don't know, like, you know, you're an old time AAer, and so am I. I got clean and sober almost 37 years ago. And I remember like things that stand out for me, and every once in a while they just kind of pop into my head, like those, you know, those foundational bricks that, you know, those old time AAers kind of buried deep inside my head, you know, as little nuggets. They turned into, like, you know, foundational bricks over time. Because I got sober like you, I think when I was 23. So I was a young man when I got sober. You know, a whole lot of stuff changed. I stopped drinking and I stopped drugging, but I was still a pretty decent a-hole for about another. Turns out that those things aren't actually necessarily related.
Dr. Stately, I still am. I was really, can you imagine this young tolerance tester for a lot of our elder AA members?
Yeah. Tolerance tester is a good name for it. Yeah. So, like, you know, like I used to have this really wonderful, I finally got this really amazing sponsor when I got to LA. It took me about 4 years to find him. It's a little Indian guy, native and Mexican, Ray Dela Cruz. He's gone. He's not with us anymore, so I can't break his anonymity, but he was really amazing. He like gave me some real nuggets. He was like, he'd say shit to me like, he'd say stuff to me like, there's no way for you to accept God's tremendous gifts that he has, or creator's gifts that has for you, if you're hanging on to that bag of SHIT so tightly with both hands. Yeah. You got to let go so you can grab the next thing. And I was like, oh my God, it took me a while to figure that out. And then I was like, what is he talking about?
Did I ever tell you that story where I was like, I went to a meeting and I said, oh my God, I almost relapsed. I was at the bar cashing my check, and then it was never really a meeting where people gave you feedback, but it got to this guy that I really respected, who had what I thought was a million years. He had like 17 years, and he asked me, he goes, Robert, have you ever heard of a bank? Why are you going to bars cashing your check? It's like a bank. Whoa, that was a spiritual awakening right there.
Yeah, you know, I was a slow learner in a lot of ways when I was brand newly sober. Like, you know, I moved to LA when I was 20, like 4 months sober. I dashed out of here because I was worried and afraid. Like every single person I knew, like for the most part, all my friends used, many of my family members used, and I was just terrified that I would use again if I didn't get it the hell out of Dodge. So I went off to California. I had one person that I knew that lived in LA who was in a recovery house, and I moved down there and, you know, started over, didn't have any money, no job, no nothing. I just kind of said, running for just basically to save my life, you know, and I did what I had to do, you know, to sort of kind of just muddle through. I like, you know, old timers would talk to me and I'd think, oh my God, you know. So I had a good 5 or 6 years of trying it my way, you know, before I had gotten there. So I was like, well, I got to do something different, because clearly, like, you know, that phrase they say, like, you know, what's the definition of insanity? Trying it over and over the same way you've always done it. Well, you know, I think, well, they're talking about me because I'm like, keep getting the same result. So I left Dodge and I went out there, and, you know, I was starstruck. It was Hollywood, right? I went to my 6-month meeting, and I took my 6-month chip, and Carrie Fisher was speaking at the meeting, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, it's Princess Leia, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what
and I used to.
you know what they call that? What you were doing prior to that for 5 years? They call that self-will run riot. And
Oh yeah.
I'll never forget this. There was a guy I went to the meetings with, and he had a TV show and a radio show locally, and the way he said it with his radio voice, self-will run riot. I'll never forget that.
That's funny. Well, yeah, a little bit of myself ran riotous and willfully, even after I got in early recovery. Took me about 4 or 5 years to sort of kind of really figure some things out. And that's what it is also about. It's like I think one of the things that I always think about is like, you think about there was certainly reflect on my life way back then. I didn't think I had a whole lot to contribute to the world. I didn't have a whole lot of self-esteem. Ray, the
Oops, we lost Dr. Stately there. He's
Oh, no.
freezing again. He's at that, he has that good internet out there in Washington County. We
Yeah.
might have to have him disappear here for a second and come back. But it's funny, Haley. Like he was saying, all these old timers, like they were bumper sticker sayings, and they all kind of came true. And it's like, why are these sayings still around? Why are these old hokey sayings? Because they work and they're valid, and but you don't see that, and especially when you're going through things. I think there is Dr. Stately again. Yeah, I was just talking about these bumper sticker sayings, Dr. Stately. It's like, why are these so prevalent? And it's like, oh, well, because they work.
Yeah, and here's the other thing I would say is like, for a really long time, like I went to AA. I went to my first AA meeting when I was 17. Didn't really catch for me until I was 23. Took a pretty, almost a life ending accident for me to sort of kind of really grab sobriety. So, I was a hardhead. I had to learn the hard way. I had like severe hard knocks, life of hard knocks here. But not everybody has the same journey, and not everybody has the same trajectory. And when I became a professional, like working in behavioral health as a psychologist, and now I run chemical health centers and I run an entire health center, it's like I know that like my journey isn't everybody's journey. And
Right.
and there are a million pathways to recovery. A million, because there's hundreds of thousands of millions of people that are sober, right? So everybody's journey and pathway is different. Mine doesn't have to be yours. Yours doesn't have to be your sisters or your brothers or your cousins or your aunties or your uncles. Like everybody has their own pathway. It's what's important is for you to find your own. And
Right.
so like, I work for an organization that is deeply, deeply invested in harm reduction and in low barrier access to care and services, and recognizing that some people need something different than what I had, right? And I'm
Mhm.
okay with that. I'm really okay with that. But I remember this Ray I was saying says to me one day, he says, if you want self-esteem, because I was whining around about not feeling very like I was having any self-esteem. He says,
Awesome.
you know how you get self-esteem? And I said, how? He goes, do something esteemable. He goes, get out there and do an esteemable act. Do something that actually is worth something.
Mhm.
And I was like, when he first said that to me, I was like, well, you MFer, and then it finally dawns on me one day, like, oh yeah, well, that's what we're talking about, service work, right?
Yeah.
I built a really amazing life that's so incredibly rich and so fulfilling around being of service to my community, to my family, to other people who are struggling with addiction. Like I have the most amazing life that I didn't know was possible when I first got sober. I didn't believe it was possible.
You know what I like, Dr. Stately, to kind of you kind of talked about that just a little bit before you changed subject there, is that AA, one of the things that I love to see and hear, and I wish I could live my life like this, but they have no opinion on outside matters. And what that means is just what you said. People sober up different ways and different, it's not just AA, but it's like, what a concept, not having an opinion on outside matters. I'm the opposite. Oh, jeez. awake.
You have an opinion on inside manners and outside manners.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Dr. Stately, we'll be seeing you soon. Appreciate you stopping in. We're really working you hard this month. Maybe we'll have you on Wednesday, too, for the heck of it. No, just kidding.
Gigo Bobman, take care.
Right on. Up next, Wendy with our Sacred Animal section. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
In recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, this message is brought to you by Strong Hearts Native Helpline, a culturally appropriate domestic and sexual violence helpline for Native American and Alaska Natives. Advocates provide free support and advocacy 24/7. Call or text 1-844-762-8483, that's 1-844-7-NATIVE, or chat online at strongheartshelpline.org. Safe, anonymous, confidential, 24/7.
ATNF AM 950 St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950, here to tell you about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If your home was hit with the most recent storms, trust the most well-reviewed exterior construction company, Snap Construction, for a free home inspection.
This is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. There are a lot of great construction companies in town. My advice is to take your time and do your research. Make sure they are locally owned and that they guarantee their craftsmanship for life. Also, you want to find a company that's been in business for at least 10 years. You want to work with a company that's going to be there long after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims, and we'll help you through the process.
Don't go with the out-of-town fly-by-night contractor. Most storm damage goes missed by the untrained eye. Trust Snap Construction for your free storm damage evaluation. For your free storm damage evaluation, call Snap Construction at 612-333-SNAP or visit them online at snapconstruction.com. That's 612-333-SNAP or snapconstruction.com.
Be a vaccinative. As the fall season continues, new COVID-19 variants threaten the health of not just you, but our elders as well. These new variants might even evade previous vaccines. That's why it's important to stay up to date. The newly authorized vaccines target current variants effectively and are FDA approved for ages 6 months and older. But there is an important note. These are the first COVID vaccines to be commercialized, which means there may be costs associated with them. Speak with your health insurer about your coverage before scheduling an appointment to avoid a surprise bill. For those without health insurance, help is available. Ask your health clinic about options or visit vaccines.gov for free locations. Getting vaccinated protects you from severe disease. Don't put yourself or elders at risk. So be a vaccinative and protect our community. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
The appliance industry is suffering from major delays with shortages on the horizon. The specialists at Warner Stelling have the area's best selection with thousands of appliances in stock for fast pickup or free delivery. Shop 10 Minnesota stores or at warnerstellian.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 68, Tuesday sunny with a high near 82, and Tuesday night showers and storms with a low around 63. Discover authentic Szechuan and Mandarin cuisine at the Great Wall Restaurant. Enjoy favorites like hot and sour soup, sesame chicken, and Peking duck. Conveniently located just south of 50th and France and Edina. Order takeout by calling 952-927-4439 or view the menu at greatwalledina.com.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Soul Space Farm Sanctuary in Richmond, Wisconsin.
That's hard to say. That sounds like a tongue twister.
It is.
Hey, we're here with Wendy Pilot, and she's our sacred animal expert here. We talk about our relatives over the years and how important they are and how we need to protect them. And So take it away, Wendy.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. And as you heard me say, it's not a new sponsor, but I want to promote this sanctuary. It's called Soul, Soul, Soul Space Farm Sanctuary, and they're located in Richmond, Wisconsin. And Robert and I spent the day there with our 2 godchildren on Saturday.
Yes, we did.
And it's it's a farm sanctuary, so they have all farm animals who have been rescued from dire situations, really, and they're cared for there. And we went there for Wally's Jumpyversary. That's what it was called, Jumpyversary. It's his 6th anniversary that Wally the pig jumped off of a slaughter truck headed for the slaughterhouse, and he was rescued, and he's at the sanctuary now, and they have a fundraiser every year, and this is his 6th year. And we went there and we met Wally and we met all the other animals, and it was a really fun day.
Yeah, I even had my medicine bag getting eaten by a goat. Was that a goat?
It was a goat.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Us city folks, we're not really sure which animal
was
is
a big
which.
furry dog.
No, we know what
with
they
horns.
are. But it's really good. So they're located at 1976 County Road CC in Richmond, Wisconsin. It's a nice, pretty quick ride from the Twin Cities here.
Yeah.
And they've been spreading compassion since 2015. Yep, they give public tours every Saturday at 1:00, and they have all different events during the year. And it's really funny. So we went with our godchildren, and you could feed the pigs apples. You could go in the pens and pet the sheep and the goats.
They love the rabbits.
They had rabbits there. I mean, it was really very nicely. It's a beautiful setting. The animals,
music.
you could tell.
Live music.
They had live music. The animals, you could tell, are all just happy and relaxed. They know they're not going to be killed and eaten, and they live a peaceful, beautiful life. So you could go on their website, and they have events throughout the year. Soul Space Farm Sanctuary in Wisconsin.
Bought some bread from them too, right?
Yeah, zucchini bread, and they had a food truck there, and they had a silent auction, and a lot of people were there. It was really good. So they also have volunteer work days, the 1st and 3rd Saturday of the month from 1 to 4 p.m. And it was really funny because our godchildren, so one is 8 and one is 5.
And they're definitely city kids.
They're city kids. They're from Minneapolis. So, they were a little like, oh, should I touch the goat, or there was some flies and whatever, but I told them both when we were leaving the sanctuary, oops, my phone just dropped, and we were waving to the animals, okay, bye till next time. I said, hey guys, I'm going to set us up, and we're going to go and volunteer and clean the pens and scoop the poops and rake the hay, whatever we have to do. And Olivia, who's 8, looked at me and she goes, I really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
so
let's go and volunteer,
fun.
Olivia.
Yeah. So check them out. You could donate. They have a Patreon. They really do really fantastic work.
You could probably trick them into that. Tell them you're going to take them to the theater or something.
We go. I'll hand them a rake and a shovel, and we'll get going.
Mask.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really fun. So I really enjoyed it. I love all the animals. They had a donkey there named Amos too. That was really cute. And all the animals there are used to people being around, so they're they're pretty friendly. In fact, one of the women had a board with all different paint on it, and she brought it into the roosters and chickens because they peck at it and they paint. But
I
she
didn't get that.
yeah, but she
Okay, that
came
makes
out and I
sense.
said, "Oh, what are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I put some paint on a board and they like to peck at it and paint, but nobody feels like painting today."
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it was hot. It was a hot day.
It
You know,
was.
they really weren't expecting it to be so warm. It was in the high 80s.
Right.
You know, it was really a hot day. You know, they have it you know, beginning of October. You think it's going to be, you know, 65 degrees,
Mhm.
but it was 85 degrees instead.
Yeah, and it's
But-
warmer than that, I think, with humidity, but
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
not a meteorologist.
Yeah. So for me, I loved it. I really enjoyed the day. I would definitely go back. And I took some pictures. So what I started doing, Robert can chime in here, is I paint, and I started painting pet portraits. So
That's hard to say.
it is pet portraits. So I'm practicing right now, and I'm doing pictures for family and friends for free. And eventually I'd really like to get a website going, and well, maybe not a website. People don't use like an Instagram or whatever. And then try to paint pictures of animals for money and then donate some of the proceeds to, you know, a rescue organization or you know, a farm sanctuary like this. So,
well,
stay
you do
tuned, stay tuned
you do
for
an
that.
excellent job, and everyone's really amazed when they see your photo. So when we get that Instagram up, we'll talk about
Yeah.
you know, people want to knock your door down and have you do them. They're really awesome, but
Mhm.
you'll probably have to do some sort of lottery thing or something so you're not overwhelmed too, because people, especially with the holidays coming up, people are going to really want something like that. And we have like paintings of our past pets too that are
Yeah.
really nice
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So definitely I'll, you know, and the other thing that I feel like it's important to me is having, like, I painted one of our neighbor's dogs. The dog's still alive, but he's, you know, he's getting kind of old. And I always like to know about the dog. Like, do they like to, you know, just like about their personality. So I could think about the dog or cat. I haven't done any cats yet, but I mean, if I do a dog, I suppose I could do a cat. I like to know about the dog so I could think about the
Right.
dog while I'm painting it, and it kind of helps me. And the other thing I really try to do is I get the outline of the animal. Lucy, okay, I'll paint you too.
Yeah, Lucy wants to be
Yeah, what I need is a picture. So I always just tell people, just send me your favorite picture of your pet, and I just kind of copy it and paint it. And after I outline it, one of the first things I paint on the dog is I try to get their eyes,
right, the soul,
their eyes done, so that while I'm painting it, I'm looking at their eyes. Yeah. So I'll let everybody know like when that's coming up, and I'll give you my
There'll
information.
be examples will be up there. I think you'll
Yeah.
be blown away. I mean, we're not just kind of talking like mine would be stick animals, you know, with the you know, the
Yeah, no,
generic
they're
cat.
pretty
These
good.
are really good.
Yeah,
and,
they're pretty good portraits, and people who I've given them to, they're very
appreciative,
and they're very surprised how
good-
like, you know, I don't get that. I mean, the animal is like not exact, but it's
right.
it's a rendition of the animal, and you could tell who the animal is.
Absolutely.
You know, as soon as my aunt, I did one for my aunt for her birthday, and as soon as she opened it and looked at it, she was like, "Oh my God, Nala!" Like she knew
Yeah.
exactly.
That was a good
you
one,
know,
too.
who
They're all
Nala
good,
was,
but
so-
Nala, the eyes.
And I'm really having a really good time painting them. Like I feel like really relaxed and very happy, and like almost a meditation, really.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm really, really enjoying it. So
and it's coming out. You don't know how, it's inspired, creator inspired. You know the backstory, and you don't remember a lot of the painting process until it's done, right? You were saying something like that.
it's really kind of weird. It is. Like
Yeah.
I'll look back at it. I'm like, oh my God, I just painted that.
Right.
And I've been doing them on 8x8 canvases, what people really like. They're, not too big and not too small. And then they have like, they're 1.5 inch thick.
Mhm.
So like you could set them on a table, put them on your nightstand, or you could hang them. So, they're really cute. So that'll be coming up, and I'm excited about that. And I'm, I literally like dream about painting, and then
That's
I
awesome.
wake up and I want to like get in my room and paint.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's
So,
really good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be calling it Pilot's Palette,
Yeah.
like a painting palette.
I
Pilot's,
get it.
Pilot's Palette. And our little dog, Wanda,
Aw.
she's our little logo.
Yeah.
I just have to redo her. And yeah, so there's things I have to get. I want to get an email, I have to get an Instagram, a Facebook page. And once everything's up and running, hopefully in the next week or two,
Yeah.
I'll be
next week.
sending out some information and all of the paintings that I've done so far. And we'll see what happens.
Well, maybe we'll talk you into doing a Fun Fact Friday, and by then everything will be set up, and that can be one of your fun facts.
Oh, yeah. I know. I was at the vet. We take Lucy to the vet every Monday. Every Monday she gets fluids because she has kidney failure. She's holding her own. She's 17. She's doing really good. I showed the vet tech there that I see every week. I just walk in and she's like, "Hey, Wendy, hey, Lucy," because we're there every week. But I showed her some of the paintings that I did, and she was like, "Oh, wow, these are really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to have to start selling them so I could pay for Lucy's fluids every week. It gets expensive." Now she's starting on medication for arthritis.
Oh my God.
So
Hey, up next, Wendy Pilot, Fun Fact Monday here on Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
stay with us.
We'll be right back. I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
You work hard for every cent you make. You have bills and you have goals. Choose a bank that's going to support you along the way. That's Fair Financial Banking. No overdraft fees, no minimum balance. No credit score required. Call 651-262-2173 to talk to a Fair Financial enroller to open your account today. Keep more of your money. That's fair. Fairfinancial.org. Fair is a program of Prepare Plus Prosper, a nonprofit organization, and is not a bank. Banking services are provided by Sunrise Banks N.A., member FDIC.
Be a vaccinative. It's time to come together and talk about the urgent need to stay up to date on COVID-19 vaccinations to protect our heritage, our loved ones, and our future. Throughout history, we have always faced challenges, and today we must protect our culture and loved ones. This is our opportunity to ensure that our tribal gatherings once again resound with joy and celebration, where the echoes of our ancestors guide our steps. It's a chance to care for our elders, cherishing their wisdom and stories for generations to come. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Let us unite, resilient as ever, and show the world the strength of the Native American community. Together, we shape a future where our traditions thrive, our children learn from our ancestors, and our people flourish once more. So be a vaccinative and learn more about staying up to date with your COVID vaccinations at health.state.mn.us. That's health.state.mn.us. This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, it's Fun Fact Monday here. We're switching it up a little bit here, Wendy. Wendy's been so gracious to come in and talk about some fun facts, but also you have some other things you want to talk about before you get into fun facts. Was that, or did
I have a funny story I want to
everything?
talk about, and I just want to remind everybody to check out Soul Space Farm Sanctuary in Richmond, Wisconsin. It's a great little sanctuary for all kinds of farmed animals. Robert, a couple, listen to this story. A couple on a 13-hour flight were refunded over 1,000 euros after being seated next to a farting dog.
Oh.
Yeah, Gil and Warren Press were traveling from Paris to New Zealand with Singapore Airlines when the emotional support dog started snoring loudly during the first leg of their trip.
Oh.
Quote, I heard this noise, a heavy snoring, Gil told Stuff. I thought it was my husband's phone, but when we looked down and realized it was the dog breathing, I said, I'm not having this sitting next to us the whole trip.
Oh.
Yeah, they also claimed the dog wouldn't stop farting during the journey. It was then when the couple alerted the staff and asked to move, but there were no more spaces available. Quote, they couldn't have the dog out in the aisle because they couldn't get the trolleys through. So it had to come in further, which meant his head was under my husband's feet. She continued, my husband was in shorts and was getting the dog's saliva goo on his leg. Yeah, the pair were offered $116 in travel vouchers, which they were unhappy with. They pushed for a refund and have since given approximately $1,410, which they plan on donating to a charity for guide dogs.
Oh,
yeah, the
that's
folks.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool, right? The spokesperson for Singapore Airlines said Singapore Airlines apologizes to Mr. and Mrs. Press for their experience on board their flight from Paris to Singapore. The airline endeavors to notify customers who may be seated next to an assistance dog prior to boarding in circumstances where customers seated next to an assistance dog requested to be removed will be assisted to reseat customers within the same cabin if space permits. Honestly, I would sit next to a farting dog any day.
Wow, more than a farting person. You don't know.
Right? Or a smelly person, or a person who has all that cologne on, or, someone. I mean, really, a farting dog, give me a break. But I'm glad that that they're donating, the money to the seeing eye dog thing or whatever. So that's good. I just thought that was a really funny story, and it made the news. I saw it in a couple of different
news outlets.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, but a couple of other facts about animals. In 1 year, an owl. In 1 year, an owl will eat over 1,000 rodents.
Wow.
So please don't poison my meals,
that's
right?
3 rodents a day.
That's crazy, right? So if you poison the rodents, if you put, poison out for the rodents, and then the owl eats the rodents, then they get sick.
Good call.
Yeah, we were just talking about Wally.
Everything's connected,
It
right?
is. Everything is connected. We always talk about that. And we were just
lead
talking
bullets and all
right.
that.
Yes, the lead bullets, the lead. What do you call those lures?
Lures, like
sinkers that you use for fishing.
Yep.
Those are also lead, and those
And they don't
poison
have
the
to be.
waters. Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story. We talked about that, right? The NRA has very strong lobbying power, and they don't want any change, even if it makes if it's common sense change, like let's stop using lead bullets and let's use other bullets. They find that, okay, if they stop this now and we have to make this change, what's next after that? So they don't want to make any changes, even if the changes make sense. That's why they don't have good gun control in this country. Anyway, Fun fact Friday. Fun fact Monday. Manic Monday. We're calling it Manic Monday. So we were just talking about Wally at the Soul Space Farm Sanctuary. He was the pig who jumped off the truck headed to slaughter.
Yeah, escaped.
Yeah. So here's a couple of pig facts. They're smarter than dogs.
Yes.
Smarter than dogs. They dream. Yeah. They can run up to 11 miles an hour. Yeah. And the pig that we saw, they were gigantic, those pigs. I can't even tell you how much they weighed. They can recognize their own names at just 2 weeks old. Yeah. And they love belly rubs. Yeah.
They were kind of muddy. They were keeping cool because it was
so hot. Yes. And the guy had the hose out. So yeah, it was very muddy.
But that's how they keep cool, is in that mud. But it's hard to rub their tummy. You got your manicure all dirty.
I put my whole hand in the mud to grab the apple that dropped. And then I kind of wiped it off with my hand and gave it back to the pig. But Robert, fish are smart.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that fish can remember events, tasks, tests, other fish, and recognize human individuals for months and even years. So they have a memory. Yeah.
I remember fish feel pain, a sign at a restaurant where I eat. Somebody drew.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of your reassurance of claiming your art. It was a fish and it's fish
I
feel
remember
pain.
that. That was a long time ago. They had fish on the menu. So I drew a picture of a fish.
On our whiteboard leaving the store, one of our former sponsors. I think they're coming back too, so we won't say the name.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know, really. I used to have a fish tank with fish in it, and I had fish that would see me and like run over to the edge of the tank and like and they would feed, and then I would like put my finger and make like figure 8, and the fish would follow me like they were playing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really? I never knew that story. The things I learned on this show.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that fish tank. Possums. We love our possums.
Yeah.
They're such cute little animals. So please don't hurt or kill possums. People are afraid of them. They're totally chill.
I hopefully our son-in-law isn't listening to the show, because they do listen once in a while. Him and
yeah.
Jay, but
Why?
he got scared when he saw that possum in our backyard during Christmas.
Yeah, but they'll act like, and they'll hiss, but they don't do anything. They can listen to this about a possum. They can withstand up to 80 rattlesnake or coral snake bites.
Wow.
Yeah, and thanks to them, we have snake venom antidotes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Plus, in a single week,
Illegal mosquitoes, right?
Not mosquitoes, close. Plus, in a single week, one possum can eat 5,500 larval ticks.
Oh,
and
ticks.
And they rarely contract rabies.
Wow.
Yeah. So possums are your friend. Yeah.
Definitely.
So I know we've had. Yes, Lucy, we've had a heat wave here, but just a couple of reminders. All right. So before I say this, I want to tell you this. So Halloween, a lot of people decorate their houses really cute for Halloween, but they use that fake spider web. Thank you. The fake spider web, and it's kind of sticky and you can hang it all over the place. But a lot of animals are getting caught in it, and bugs and butterflies. So don't use that. Don't use that because, animals and bugs and butterflies and whatever else is flying around out there get stuck. And listen, okay, when it's really cold out, the animals will go into your engine to keep warm. Just bang on your hood first.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey,
You won't have to worry about that for a while yet.
Hey, thanks, Wendy, and I can't wait for your business to expand. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on is sacred ground, and it's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Now.
They die out,